What if the first love story in human history happened so long ago that it left no names, no faces, and not even a single word behind? No poem, no ring, no letter. Just bones, footprints, tools, and a few strange clues buried in the dirt. And yet, when scientists look closely, they do not just see survival. They see attachment, they see loyalty, they see grief. They see signs that ancient humans may have been falling in love long before cities, long before farming, maybe even long before our species was fully modern. And before we go further, tell me in the comments, do you think love came before language or after it? The hard part is this. Love does not fossilize. A broken arm can fossilize. A skull can fossilize. Even pollen in a grave can survive for thousands of years. But a feeling? That disappears. So no archaeologist can dig up a skeleton and say, yes, this person was definitely in love on a Tuesday afternoon. What they can do is look for the behaviors that love tends to create: pair bonding, long-term care, shared parenting, mourning, gift-giving, jealousy, commitment, and emotional dependence. And when you study human evolution, one thing becomes clear very fast. Ancient humans did not survive just because they were strong. They survived because they were deeply social. Human babies are helpless for an unusually long time. That means raising a child was never a one-person job. From very early on, our species benefited from close bonds, especially bonds strong enough to keep two people invested in each other and in the same child over time. In other words, love may not have been a luxury. It may have been a survival tool. Some scientists think the roots of that bond could go back incredibly far. There is a famous idea linked to early hominins like Ardipithecus, a human ancestor that lived about 4.4 million years ago. The argument is controversial, but the basic idea is simple. Certain physical changes may hint that male competition was becoming less extreme and that longer pair relationships may have become more important. That does not prove romance the way we think of it now, but it suggests the earliest building blocks of human-style attachment may be ancient beyond imagination. Still, pair bonding is not exactly the same thing as being in love. A pair bond means two individuals form a lasting social connection. Love is messier. It includes desire, trust, obsession, comfort, fear of loss, and the strange human urge to make one person feel more important than everyone else. So if we want to ask when ancient humans first fell in love, we need stronger clues than just mating patterns. We need to find the moment survival started looking emotional. That is where care becomes one of the biggest clues of all. Again and again, archaeologists find ancient human relatives who survived serious injuries that would have been nearly impossible to survive alone. We are talking about individuals with crushed limbs, missing teeth, damaged eyesight, disabilities, and long-healed trauma. Someone fed them, someone protected them, someone slowed down for them when life was dangerous and food was hard to get. That does not automatically mean romance. It could be kinship, friendship, or group loyalty. But it proves something huge. Deep emotional commitment existed far back in the human story. And once you accept that, the question changes. It is no longer, were ancient humans capable of love? The better question becomes, how early did that love become focused into strong, lasting bonds between partners? Because by the time we reach later humans and Neanderthals, the evidence starts feeling much more familiar. People were caring for one another, burying their dead, using pigments, making ornaments, and living in social worlds full of meaning. If that changes the way you see prehistory, leave a like, because this is where human history stops feeling distant and starts feeling personal. Burial is especially powerful here. When humans begin placing bodies carefully, sometimes with objects, color, or clear intention, it tells us death meant more than disposal. Someone was remembered. Someone mattered after they were gone. Add personal ornaments like shells, beads, or decorated items, and now you are looking at creatures who cared about identity, beauty, and social signals. That matters because attraction is not just biology. It is display. It is symbolism. It is saying, look at me, choose me, remember me. By at least a few 100,000 years ago, the emotional machinery for love was probably already in place. Our brains were not inventing attachment from nothing. Mammals already had bonding systems built from older chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, and other reward pathways. Humans likely took those ancient systems and turned the volume up. We attach not only to children, but to partners. Not only for mating, but for comfort, teamwork, and meaning. Love, in that sense, may be one of the oldest technologies our species ever used, and that helps answer the title in the most honest way possible. Ancient humans probably did not first fall in love at one single moment we can date on a timeline. Love likely emerged gradually, first as attachment, then as pair bonding, then as a more complex emotional system mixed with memory, desire, grief, and long-term commitment. The safest answer is that love, or at least love-like partner bonding, is far older than civilization, and probably older than Homo sapiens as we know ourselves today. Which means the first human love story may not have looked anything like ours on the surface. No candles, no songs, no written promises. Maybe it looked like shared food after a hunt. Maybe it looked like waiting while someone injured caught up. Maybe it looked like bringing the best tool to one person first. Maybe it looked like panic when they disappeared into the dark. Maybe it looked like sleeping closer to one body than the others. And I want to know this too. If you had to choose one clue as the strongest sign of love, care, burial, or pair bonding, which one would you pick? What makes this idea so powerful is that it collapses time. We like to imagine ancient humans as rough, simple, almost mechanical, but the evidence keeps pushing back. These were not emotionless beings stumbling through prehistory. They formed bonds. They protected each other. They suffered loss. They likely felt longing and relief, closeness and heartbreak in forms we would recognize instantly even if their world was completely different from ours. So when did ancient humans first fall in love? Probably long before anyone painted hearts, long before anyone wrote vows, and long before history had a name. Maybe love began the moment survival depended on one person mattering more than the crowd. Maybe it began when attachment became choice, when care became commitment, when losing someone started to hurt in a way that changed behavior. If you like exploring the moment science and human emotion collide, subscribe, because some of the biggest answers about us are hiding in the oldest bones on Earth, and maybe that is the real takeaway. Love is not some modern invention layered on top of human life. It may be part of the operating system. Ancient humans did not become human when they made better tools. They became human when other people stopped being just useful and started being irreplaceable.